going to get a COVID-19 update. And, we've been doing this. Do you realize 1 year ago yesterday, the first COVID-19 case was diagnosed in the U.S.? Yeah, a lot has happened since then. Anyway, with us on the telephone today, socially distancing, Chris Herring, the Imperial County EMS coordinator and preparedness manager. Good morning, Chris.
Hi, good morning, Carroll. How are you this morning?
I am well. I am hiding in the fog, okay?
We're going to come searching for you.
Yes, keeping a low profile. Anyway, okay, Chris. We just mentioned it's been a year since the COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus, diagnosed in the U.S. And we're coming up, March is when things really hit the fan in Imperial County. So a lot has happened in the past 9-10 months. And what is happening right now?
Yeah, and I think, Carroll, for us here in the Public Health Department, we activated our Department Operations Center February 4th last year. So was that just 2 weeks shy of coming up to the 1 year mark for us since we've been really working on this pandemic response. But just to kind of start for where we're today, I think the hot topic, the biggest thing on everybody's mind right now is the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine. And we are working pretty much night and day right now, getting everything in place so that when we do have an adequate supply of vaccine in the county, we're able to push that out as quickly and efficiently as we possibly to the public.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Monday, it was not a good situation. Okay. El Centro Regional Pioneers did distribute the vaccine, but, for all intents and purposes, it was not done well. What's transpired since then?
So Carroll, and I think, that has been a topic of conversation this week as well. And to dovetail on the conversations with both hospitals, I think, we, at this point, I think we talked, we're almost 12 months into this response. So any little bit of good is a great thing. So the fact that we were able to, our two hospitals were able to vaccinate 900 folks on Monday morning is great. Coming from the emergency management background, I'll tell you, every response, every incident, every activity is looked at, it's reviewed. We develop some lessons learned for everything that we do as a system, and there definitely were a lot of lessons learned from Sunday night and Monday morning, and a lot of those kind of corrective actions are being put in place. At least for us here at the Public Health Department, we do continue with our appointments in our drive-through curbside service here at the Public Health Department for our Phase 1A, so our highest risk healthcare workers. But I will say that all of those lessons that were learned Sunday night and Monday morning are being put into place for future events.
Okay, future. I understand. Okay, Sacramento is only distributed about 37% of the vaccine they're holding, and you are beholden to Sacramento to get the vaccines for distribution. That part we understand. And the new president has already said, states, you cannot go out on your own and buy vaccines on the open market. It's got to come through the federal government. There are multi-layers of things going on here as well. But what are the plans for future clinics?
So, and much like our community's seen with our drive-through flu clinics that we do every year, and I think I talked about this last time we spoke a few weeks ago. So future clinics that are being planned by the Public Health Department are going to be handled in that style where, it's set up as a drive-through. It's a mass distribution event. So we're essentially at this point, we've identified large places, large parking lots around the county that can be used. We're working with the county's Emergency Operations Center, which essentially is the focal point for all of the county departments and all of our stakeholders and state agencies to plan, events and as part of this response. So we're working with the EOC to make sure that all logistics are in place for those, the operation of those clinics. And then we're working internally here at Public Health with the state's, it's an online registration platform to be able to schedule appointments. And once we have enough doses in our hands to actually schedule these large events, and once we know exactly what the target population is, and then that's one of the other things that we get, it gets pushed down from the state, is who's eligible to receive the vaccine at any given time based on the risk that they're exposed to. Once that information is available, once kind of in place, we'll be pushing out those registration links to be able to schedule appointments. We're also working, at this point, a lot of that high risk community is the 65 plus population. We're working again through our EOC and our Area Agency on Aging to make sure that we have some processes in place to be able to schedule appointments for those individuals who may not be as tech savvy. And really, our goal at this point, just because we don't know when that date will be where we'll have enough vaccine to do this, we're really working to kind of set these sites up almost as a turnkey fashion, where the turnaround time from when the doses arrive in our department to the time the clinic is open can be as short as possible.
Okay, on your website, there is a place for businesses to take a little bit of a survey, fill out some information, give you some information. And there's a section where, we'd like to host a vaccination clinic for our employees. Where does that stand right now?
So that information does get compiled, and I can tell you there's kind of two parallel processes working right now. We have that information portal where these businesses are kind of submitting that information to us. It gets compiled, it gets reviewed. Public health staff will be reaching out to those agencies if they haven't already done so, to talk about some of the logistics and work through some of the details for those types of clinics. We've also been working with all of our public agencies, including the County Office of Education and all of our school districts, to identify what public facilities and parking lots may be used as well. Okay.
Any idea how many doses of the vaccine are in Imperial County now? Any schedule on when more might be arriving?
So we do know we've been receiving weekly allocations and should be receiving some more vaccine next week. As of yesterday, we've received a total of just over 7,500 doses for the county. And of the 7,500 doses, just about 4,500 had been used, and about, let's say, just over 1,000 of those doses were received on Tuesday of this week.
Okay. And again, they're coming down from Sacramento, right?
Yeah, so they do ship, I believe, either from Sacramento or directly from the manufacturer, but the allocation process is all through the state.
Okay, and if I remember the numbers correctly, some 26,000 individuals in Imperial County that are in the 65 plus age group that are eligible. You're still working with the lack of allocations. You're still working with the very first levels of the tiers, right?
Yeah, so at this point, I would say the majority of our healthcare workers from the hospitals, our emergency medical providers to our EMTs and paramedics have had access or have had the ability to get vaccinated. We've been working pretty hard the last 2 weeks on that second tier, which is some of our home health agencies, dialysis centers, support service, caregivers, et cetera. And we've been trying to roll in some of the 65 plus population as we're able to, and that's what we saw Monday with our 2 hospitals. We just haven't received enough doses to really hit that population as well as we would have liked at this point.
Yes, and I just kind of shake my head. They're doing drive-through clinics at Chavez Ravine in the Los Angeles area. And, again, geographically, Imperial County is as far away from Sacramento as you can possibly be. So, maybe our chairman of the board of supervisors needs to write another letter to
Carroll, and that's actually a great point. The advocacy, whether it's from our elected officials at the county level, the cities, or any of our special districts. And I know there was a letter that got sent on, I believe it was Wednesday, to the governor's office, to Dr. Galley's office, and our state elected, and I actually believe our federal representatives as well. One of it was actually Supervisor Plancarte, and mentioned this in a board meeting this week. It's one thing when, you have one voice that the letters or makes the phone calls. It's another thing for elected officials, to receive dozens of letters or dozens of phone calls from constituents at all levels. So that's one of the other things that, as a community, we can help each other is by continuing to advocate directly to those state and federal representatives for more vaccine for the county.
Okay. And Chris had to sum it up. We learned from the Monday events. We're moving forward and sure exactly when or where or how the next events are going to because we don't have the vaccine yet, right?
That's a great summary, yeah.
Okay, so we're waiting. Chris, anything we missed? I know you mentioned since February 4th, the county has been operating out of the Emergency Operations Center, and that's in Heber. That's your new home, right?
February 4th was our department. I think the county's Emergency Operations Center, and I don't get the date. Don't quote me on the date, but it was early March. And because of the type of response this is, I think a lot of our homes is on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or conference calls. It is a much different type of response, and I know our CEO says this every time. We would prefer to be face to face in person, and we've learned a lot over the last year, really, on how to manage these types of incidents and emergency response in a remote kind of socially distanced way. And it presented some challenges early on, but I think we've all gotten pretty good at Zoom etiquette and everything else that goes along with being remote so much.
The times they are a-changing.
They are. I think, Carroll, the other thing, and I know I say this every time I've been on with you, but our healthcare workers, our EMS providers, and really all of those other essential services that really keep society moving. We've all experienced some challenges and worked through some challenges, but at the end of the day, everybody has been working hard to keep this community moving forward. And that's another thing that, I always believe in our community. We do have a very strong ability to come together at the local level and get through whatever challenge is posed to us.
It is something very unique to the Imperial Valley. And that's one of the things that make it what it is. Chris, we appreciate the visit. And, basically all I can say is stay healthy and stay dry.
Thank you. You too, Carroll. It's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Okay. Chris Herring, the Imperial County Emergency Preparedness Manager, Emergency Services coordinator.